now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This segment of the news is brought to you by BTC, powered by Lime.
The government to unveil its midterm budget tomorrow as the country struggles out of a slow economic period. Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis with the Bahamas Tonight Weekend. Thanks so much for tuning in. Fresh out of a major investment conference and with unemployment reaching unprecedented levels, the government will reveal to the Bahamian public its mid-year fiscal plan. The fiscal plan will outline the current economic challenges still affecting the country and what attempts will be made by the government to steer the country along a smoother economic path. Minister of State for Finance Michael Halkitis noting that budget cuts are likely and essential financial adjustments will be made, but the Bahamian public will be provided with a clear picture.
We want to make it an even more thorough process this time, and we want everybody to understand that we want to give all of the agencies the funds and the resources they need to do their job, but we have to operate within an overall umbrella of these are the constraints on the government. We don't want to be in a position where we're going to the Bahamian people to put more taxes on them. We think that's counterproductive. We don't want to have to do that. And so we just have to tighten up with our costs, contain the costs, try and administer the revenue better, and get the economy growing. The more people that go to work, the more money is circulating into the economy, and that is what we're working towards.
Now, in terms of the economy, Mr. Halkitis says the government is moving in a positive direction, which will prove beneficial to the country.
Working hard every day to improve it. We see some light at the end of the tunnel. We see some improvement already. And as we go forward, we have a program of adjustment, bringing down spending a little bit, bringing up revenue. And we think in the next 2, 3, 4 years, we're going to see the positive results of it. All right. And so I think the Bahamian people can be comforted that we have a team in place of technical people and policy people who are we're going to work hard to make sure that we deliver to them a good, sound economy, and so that when we eventually hand it on to our children and our children's children, we hand on to them a good, solid economy and not one that they have to be concerned about.
As the government puts forward its midterm budget, it also remains optimistic about the future investment outlook for the country. Already, Grand Bahama is being viewed as the crossroads to the region, in particular with its modern shipping sector. Prime Minister Perry Christie, while on that island this week, lauded Grand Bahama's shipping industry, saying it places us in a unique position to benefit from other world shipping developments like the expansion of the Panama Canal.
Our deepwater harbor is the nearest port in this region closest to the United States that will be able to accommodate these new vessels. Here we have one of the largest man-made harbors in the world, and one that is among the deepest in the region. This makes it an ideal port to engage in business of the kind of which I have spoken. Both the Freeport Container Port and the Grand Bahama International Airport are integral parts of facilitating international travel and the transshipment of cargo. The airport is a key component of a long-term strategy to develop an integrated distribution hub and transshipment center. It has an 11,000-foot runway which handles the largest aircraft in service and is within reach of major international destinations. Like the Lyndon Pinning International Airport in Nassau, it also features pre-clearance facilities, which affords us such a powerful competitive advantage.
Meantime, the chairman of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Ian Fair, says Grand Bahama is simply waiting to be explored, but the world has to know exactly what it offers.
If you don't get out there and sell what you have to offer, the world doesn't know what you're offering. We found recently in some of the trips that people were not aware of some of the offerings that the Bahamas had to, and particularly Grand Bahama had to offer. People look at the Bahamas from a two prism view. One is tourism, and the other is financial services. without realising that Freeport is a fully diversified economy already, and we need to get out and spread that word. We've got world-class operations here. I mean, I'll give you one example, the shipyard. I mean, we've had a global recession where almost every industry in the world and every country in the world got itself into deep trouble and had to retrench. The shipyard actually substantially increased its business during the recession. So we've got success stories here. We need to get out there and shout about them.
Grand Bahama is also being viewed as a place of great expectation for the tourism industry. Prime Minister Christie says while much has been done to improve that island's tourism sector, the government and other industry partners must seek additional ways to revive and expand Grand Bahama's tourism industry. However, the strong feels the tourism product in Grand Bahama must be branded and linkages must be established in key areas.
There is an opportunity, for example, to have factories in Grand Bahama producing mattresses, pillows, bedding, and soft furnishings for cruise ships and hotels, providing jobs for Grand Bahamians. Grand Bahama definitely has in petrochemicals, in pharmaceuticals. It has already developed a culture on a scale of manufacturing. These cruise ships we spend millions of dollars with. Direct funding. In terms of monies we spend. Can we not, those who have the entrepreneurial desire, the promotional obligation, approach them with a view to joint venturing in factories to manufacture the bedding and other such materials that go and are used there? These are opportunities for us, and opportunities that must be taken advantage of.
Now to news from the labor sector. Labor Minister Shane Gibson says he's putting pressure on the former owners of the City Market food store chain to pay out severances entitled to former employees. Mr. Gibson says the former owners are still waiting on funds to be released from the sale of some of the company's assets, and he says that should take care of a portion of the severance. Now, Minister Gibson says NIB is still looking at purchasing the old City Market building for the Customs Department.
Initially, we were advised that Customs said they didn't need the building, but when we checked, there was no official correspondence between National Insurance and the control of Customs. Somebody asked a custom officer who asked another custom officer who sent a message back saying they didn't need it. That's not the way you do business. And so if the controller says there's not a need, then of course we'll abandon the project. And in any case, we have no intention of paying more than the building is worth to us if we decide to get it. So, firstly, and so if the building was appraised at $8 million and we feel as though in this type of market is only worth $4 million to us, then that's all we'll be prepared to pay if we decide to get it. Secondly, if we purchase a building, it wouldn't be a matter of us purchasing the building simply to sit there as an asset of National Insurance. The building would only be purchased if there is an agency of the government who say to us that they can actually use the building.
Following a successful visit to Grand Bahama, the Constitutional Commission is back in the capital and will continue to hear the views of persons from various sectors of our community. Among those scheduled to appear before the Commission tomorrow are the President of the Bahamas Bar Association, Mrs. Ruth Bo Darville, Clerk of the House Assembly, Maurice Tynes, Mrs. Sheila Culmer, who will be representing the disabled community, and President of the now defunct Rainbow Alliance, Ms. Erin Green. The hearing before the Commission begins at 11 o'clock Monday morning. And when we come back, we'll tell you about an initiative to help fight hunger in the Bahamas. That story and more when the Bahamas Tonight weekend continues.